All right, court reporter here, second that was called, so you said that the officer on position 9 is in training.
Okay,
There's another regular court reporter in here, but,
can we start with position 6?
well, yeah, we don't have a court reporter, this one's also not gonna be.
Oh.
Position 9,
Oh, okay, yeah, I heard.
yeah, he's in training, so do you wanna, the court reporter's not here, just, you want to just get a new date? Like, put it on when she gets here, but,
Oh, okay, yeah, you can let me know the date.
is there dates you're not available? We'll put it on since she gets here, because we can take care of this, so.
And Your Honor, I know you was asking in regards to position, just to let you know in regards to the update, in position number 9, Your Honor, all subpoenas was sent out to APD on Tuesday at, make sure.
He's in, that's the one with the officers in training.
Yeah, and so I understand that he's,
He's
got a brother, yes, Your
He
Honor.
might be here. Wait, oh, there's an officer that's gonna call, it's his brother that's in training.
okay.
All right. So we'll start with the Zachary White City before reporter gets here.
Yes, Your Honor.
Your Honor, do you mind if I step out?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. Sure, still shows Miss Hunter's in jail, like there was private prosecution, is there something else holding it?
I would just hope that it's just a delay in the paperwork. Amy McCully, did you lay eyes on the decline possibly?
It's filed,
Again,
yeah,
in regards to Benita Hunter,
Okay, it's filed in, Judge?
it's filed down on the 10th, yeah.
Okay, I'll call records after court and make sure they get her out. She's been in a long time.
Yeah, 301 days.
and Mr. Shaw, I did hear you speaking to me earlier. I know you said thank you. I didn't acknowledge that. I did hear you. No problem.
Mr. McCullough, I really appreciate that. You know, I took it that way and I did not take it in a negative way. I really appreciate that.
Gotcha.
Judge, I'll call jail records.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you so
it's all
much.
part of the process.
Okay. Oh, it says Fulton County hold APD, 22 CR 00155. How's it a Fulton County hold if it's APD?
I don't know.
I've seen that from time to time, and it's always been weird.
don't know any tricks in your book.
When it happens, and people are released, they tend to just go there and come right back.
Thank you.
Yes. Or maybe, you might just like that, so you have a public defender,
Yeah,
it could be that, they're like an entirely different agency.
that's a good point. Right.
Right, we got a chief name, we want to talk about the other case. Talk about David Lewis.
Yes, Your Honor, I'm ready.
We don't have a court reporter yet, she's put it on, record, says the court reporter gets here, so you want to talk about David Lewis, position 3, go ahead.
Good morning, sir, and Your Honor. Just want to let you know, I did speak with the officer. The officer is Johnny Bailey, in regards to position number 3. Last time he was on administrative leave, I spoke with him also yesterday, and I found out a little bit more in regards to administrative leave. With administrative leave, our office is part of the one of the office that's investigating Mr. Johnny Bailey. So at this time, we will not be able to call him as a witness. However, I do have another witness that I did make contact with yesterday after learning that our office was part of the investigation into Mr. Johnny Bailey. I did make contact with the other officer. I spoke with the other officer and he is available as of Monday, he said. I am asking for.
So there's not a court reporter, I know you say it on that, so.
Okay.
Also not available for David Lewis, correct?
Yes, he's not available because of administrative leave. I'm asking for a reset. The other officer that is available will not be available from the 23rd through the 28th.
Ms. Watts,
I'm sorry, Judge. My internet connection went
looks like his
out.
name. All that was to say, the officers are still on administrative leave, and get another officer, but not till like first week of May.
Okay. You want it back on your calendar?
And it doesn't matter, whichever is best for Mr. Houston.
Okay. Does May 2nd at 9 a.m. work?
I'm gonna check.
That's fine, Ms. Watts.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'm sorry, Judge, which case this is?
That's David Lewis, his position 3. We can still, for this year, there's a report.
Judge, I'm here. I can see and hear everyone.
Okay,
So whenever y'all are ready, just let me know. I'll be hanging out, waiting.
okay, we'll go ahead and put it on the record for position 3. It's 22 CP 210766, David Lewis. Like it's a 270 days out indictment, aggravated battery, obstruction of a law enforcement officer, criminal trespass. Mr. McCauley said the officer is on administrative leave and he can have another officer here. In this case, we can reset for May 2nd at 9 a.m. Is that right, Mr. Houston?
That's correct, Your Honor.
It looks like his last bond here was March 30th, so we don't need to address bonding, again, right?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay, so that will be reset and. Is that your only thing?
I have one more, Your Honor. I have position 7.
What about the officer for position 7, Carlos Davis, Mr. McCollum?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Kirkman, the officer in position number 7 is Anthony Kirkman. Called me this morning, said he did not receive the subpoena. Investigator Tucker did reach out and subpoenas was sent out. He did not pick up his subpoena though, Your Honor. So he will not be here this morning, Your Honor.
What's his last name?
Last name is Kirkman, Kirkman. First name is Anthony, common spelling, and he's with APD.
Houston?
The officer somehow received enough notice to call him and tell him that he didn't receive notice and he's not here. So we'll ask for dismissal for one of prosecution.
How did he receive notice if he?
Your Honor, he received it by our process of sending it to the custodian. And as we see, we have other APD officers that are here, and all of our subpoenas go out at the same time.
I
So
understand. How did he know? Is what I'm saying.
I called him last night and left a message, and I emailed him last night.
Is he working? What is? I think I get it.
Your Honor,
They come on to the power DMS that we call, that for them. I got mine at 9:30 last night for this morning as well.
I wasn't here yesterday, I just got mine, but since Sunday, I picked up Tuesday, but I didn't see it until May 28th.
And the one I have, I didn't see it till like yesterday.
Somebody gotta come up with a better system, I'm telling you. Because they're not getting it to the day or the day before. Well, we'll just see. Everybody else can be here, I think Mr. Kirkman can be here. So I'll just email the powers that be, let them know that these other officers are here, Mr. Kirkman thought he wasn't good enough to be here.
You are also chief of the year.
Oh, okay,
You worked overnight, Warren, so.
okay. So we'll give this only one final reset period, but I'll also be emailing the. I'll come back.
Your Honor, if I could
Sure,
communicate to both of my clients about the reset.
what's this reason is also for Mr. Davis, position 7 is what?
This one could be May 2nd as well at 9 a.m.
They say at 9 a.m., all right, that's 214-294, Carlos Davis, 137 days out of indictment, stuff by shoplifting from felony, assault, possession of firearm by convicted felon, possession of firearm by convicted felon. He said one time only at 9 a.m. for officer to be paid. Yeah, I'm gonna email, I'm gonna call Chief Shearbaum and a couple other people, to find out what the deal is, because they need more. If it's just, if y'all are doing it 5 days in advance, you're only getting less than 24 hours of notice, then.
And I truly do respect the court, and I understand what you are saying, Your Honor. But for this week, we did not get the actual, we didn't get the docket sheets until late Friday and Monday, and we got them out as soon as we got them. So
I'm not saying it's on your end, maybe it's on APD, but, you know. They could, if you were to work overnight, I wouldn't check your email or whatever. So, I digress. Do you want to bring them out here, or do you want to just go back?
If I could just
Okay.
shoot back real quick.
So we'll go ahead and do this guy, he's sick.
Okay.
Well, man, I'm sorry. So, we used to get through another thing called RDMS, and so we were trying to check that once a day. So everyone's supposed to comply, we ain't checking it. But if they don't sit within 24 hours, like, well, no, I can miss that.
You check it too, right?
I check it every day because it has a lot of, like, I'm not even ready to come to, if it's an older case, you have to go to with a hard case file, they want that. I'm there too. I don't know, it's starting to get like a little hard for us to, we have those on that. We must go to another location.
Right.
And
We can fix it. It's all about solution.
as far as mine, I literally checked mine yesterday. Then I got a notification later on that day after I had checked it. So
All right, if you raise your right hand, officer, you swear to testify about any truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth.
I do.
You state your name, spell it in the court reporter.
I do. Also, let me repeat again.
State your name, spell it in the court reporter.
Officer Taekwon, Tyquan, Ross, ROSS.
You get all that, Madam Court reporter?
Yes, Your Honor, I heard, I did, thank you.
All right, I want to make sure, okay, this is 22 CP 214185, Zachary White. 143 days out of indictment, there's $11,000 good bond as of March 7th. If I received stolen property, giving false information to a law enforcement officer. Go ahead, Mr. McCullough.
Yes, officer, where are you currently employed?
Civil Land Police Department.
And were you employed with them on November 21st, 2022?
Yes, sir.
And how did you become aware of Zachary White?
I was dispatched to a recovered vehicle call that's at the location at 1425 Joseph B. Boone. The store owner, the victim was Terrence Beasley, for a car stolen out of DeKalb County. He said he was able to ping the car there through a tracking system. Once they pinged the car, I was able to identify the car with another officer. From there, we saw Mr. White inside the car, then had him detained. Read Miranda rights. At first, he gave us the name James Wilson. James Wilson was the name of the person who left his ID at that place where the car was taken from. Through further investigation, we was able to figure out that James Wilson is his brother, and his real name is Zachary White. The stolen vehicle then returned to his owner, and he was charged with theft by receiving stolen property and giving false information to a law enforcement officer.
And did you discuss the case with victim Terrence Beasley?
Come again?
Did you talk to Terrence Beasley during your investigation?
I just got his side of the story about exactly what's going on. Got information about how's the vehicle, how did the vehicle get from the place he works to the person who came in and rented the vehicle, well, tried to rent the vehicle, and basically just basic information.
Can you please just discuss that conversation you had with Mr. Beasley?
Basically, I just asked him who came in and got the vehicle. He said he didn't come in. He didn't see the person who came in and got the vehicle firsthand. One of his workers did. Based on the protocol they have there, whoever comes in to test drive the vehicle has to leave ID there.
Can you maybe talk a little bit slower? It's really difficult for me to understand what you're saying. I'm sorry.
No, you good.
It's like a lot of background noise right here. So
Sorry, excuse me, I'm sorry to interrupt. Judge, I didn't hear somehow there was some feedback when you were speaking,
Me?
or whoever was just speaking.
This call is just asking you to speak up, man.
Okay.
Try it again. Go ahead.
Okay. So basically, when I was talking to the victim, I asked him what's the protocol for people coming in and test driving their vehicles. He said the person has come in, leave an ID, test drive it, come back. I asked him, did he make firsthand contact with the person who was the suspect? He said no, one of his workers did. And the information he got for the name of James Wilson was the ID that was left there. And from there, like I said, I just did my investigations. Like I said, I read Miranda, asked him about the whole situation. And from there, like just further investigation, he then told me that his real name is Zachary White.
And did you learn anything else after you read him his Miranda rights?
That's pretty much the gist of everything, sir.
And what was the cost of the vehicle?
Come again?
What was the cost of the vehicle?
I am unaware of the cost. They didn't provide that during the call.
And I'm sorry, give me one moment.
Mhm.
Are you the warrant writing officer in regards to the case before the court?
Sir.
Did you write the warrant for this case?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If you read the warrant, will it refresh your recollection in regards to the facts of the case?
Yeah, possibly, yes.
Your Honor, I request that the officer be given a moment to read his warrant to refresh his recollection.
Sure, you have one officer?
No, ma'am.
Can you share the screen?
Yes, I can. Do you see it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you did it, right. Gotcha. Okay. Okay, that's fine. Okay.
Okay. Is your recollection in regards to the facts of the case refreshed?
Yeah.
Okay.
This case was a while ago. I forgot you told me exactly.
And I understand. That's why I was just trying to help you out for you to refresh it. Do you need some more time with it?
You give me 1 second.
What's your question, Mr. McGold?
Huh?
What's your question for?
Oh, okay. My question is, what was the cost of the vehicle?
Okay, take the screen. Okay, hold on a second. All right, so talk about, this has been a slow morning.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
got a question across the vehicle.
Yeah.
He showed you the warrant,
Yeah.
refresh your recollection. Now can you answer that question?
Yes, ma'am.
What's the cost of the vehicle? All right.
Yeah, $1,500.
Okay. And did, after you Mirandize the defendant, did he admit anything?
From recollecting my warrant, he admitted that yes, he knew it was stolen, and he still drove the vehicle.
What was the address that this occurred at?
1425 Joseph Boone Boulevard Northwest,
And what county is it in?
Fulton County.
And were you post certified at the time of this incident?
Yes, sir.
And can you identify Mr. Zachary White?
Yes, sir.
Can you please describe what he's wearing at this time?
At this time, I mean, he has a white shirt and a gray one over it.
A what?
A white shirt and a gray one over it. Like 2 shirts.
He has 2 shirts. If you need to stand and take a look at them, that's okay also. Can you please describe the color of the shirt?
From looking at the shirt he has on right now, it looks like it's like a bluish gray and has a white shirt undershirt up under it.
Can the court recognize he has positively identified the defendant? You stated that No further questions at this time, Your Honor.
Ms. Collins?
Yes, Your Honor, I do have some additional questions.
Okay.
All right, Officer Ross, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so
Maybe pull that microphone down so that we're really. There you
is that better?
go. So Officer Karen?
Yes, it is. It's okay. If you could, you're a little muffled. I'm not sure which microphone. That a little better.
Okay, she's gonna go to the podium.
Thank you, Judge. Thanks, y'all.
Okay. Officer Ross, what was the date that you got involved in this case?
From my notes, it says November 21st of 2022.
And November 21st, 2022, is that the date that you met with the victim Terrence Beasley?
I believe it might have been an error on my end, because my narrative says November 22nd.
But do you remember the date or are you unsure?
I'm unsure at the moment.
But at some time in November, between November 21st and 2022, you said you spoke with, well, you had an interaction with Mr. Beasley.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, I believe it might have been an error on my end.
Okay. All right, Mr. Beasley, is he the owner of the vehicle?
Yes, he has a company that rents out vehicles.
Do you know the name of that company?
At the moment, I cannot recollect. It was a little while ago.
Did he show you any documentation notating his ownership of the vehicle?
Honestly, I do remember him showing me some documentation showing his company owned that vehicle.
Did you get a copy of that documentation?
No, ma'am.
Do you have it recorded in any way, shape, or form?
I believe yes, ma'am. It should be on body cam.
Okay. Did you have on your body cam the entire time you responded?
Yes, ma'am.
And has your body cam been preserved?
Yes, ma'am. It's saved.
All right. Okay. And you said Mr. Beasley told you that the vehicle had been issued for test drive to a James Wilson?
Yes, ma'am.
And how the vehicle was found at 1425 Joseph E. Boone Boulevard, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
But it was rented out in a different county, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. How did officers come to learn that the vehicle was located at 1425 Joseph E. Boone?
The vehicle had active tracking in it, and the victim, Mr. Terrence Beasley, was able to track the vehicle down to that location.
So Mr. Beasley tracked the vehicle down. How did you guys come to learn of it?
Through a 911 call. He tracked the vehicle, he pinged the vehicle down to that location. From there, he put in a 911 call. We was then dispatched to the location. From there, we was able to identify the vehicle, and the case went from there.
Okay. When you located the vehicle, was it parked?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you said you did take out and draft an incident report, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And in your incident report, it says that Terrence Beasley was found sitting in the car, correct?
It's a type error on my end, ma'am.
So it's an error. Is it that Terrence Beasley was not found in the car?
No, Terrence Beasley was the victim. It's a type of error on my end.
Let me see. Do you know the time that Mr. Beasley actually located the vehicle?
I do not recollect.
Do you know the time law enforcement was called?
I do not recollect.
You can, if you have your report.
Well, the time I have here is from 1749 to 2000 hours. Now, that's just time, I guess, for arrival. As far as the exact time we was dispatched there, I don't know the exact time we was dispatched. But as far as arrival time, we arrived at 1749.
Okay, and when you arrived, was anyone in the vehicle?
Yes.
Who was in the vehicle?
Mr. White.
But the vehicle was still parked, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Was the vehicle turned on?
As far as the vehicle turned on, I do not recollect.
Say that one more time.
As far as the vehicle turned on, I can't recollect exactly.
Okay.
Were the keys inside of the vehicle?
I do not recollect. Like I said, this case was a while ago.
Do you know if the keys to the vehicle were ever recovered?
Like I said, this case was a while ago, so I can't really recollect exactly.
Okay, so when you arrived and you saw Mr. White in the vehicle, what did you do?
He was then detained and read his Miranda rights.
Did he waive his right to have an attorney present?
I believe so. We asked him about it. He said he was willing to talk to us about the case and what happened.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
I'm sorry. Yes, because he talked to us about the case and asked us exactly what happened. When we asked him about the case, the situation, what happened, about why he was in the vehicle, and how the vehicle got there.
Okay, but when you read the Miranda, did you ask him, is he waiving the right?
Yeah, I read him the full Miranda.
Okay. And did he say yes? Did he indicate in any way, shape, or form that he was waiving his rights?
I believe initially he did. Then he agreed later on to say, yes, I'll talk to y'all. Like I said, this case was several months ago. So I can't remember exactly. I was notified kind of late about this case. I didn't have a lot of time to prepare and review as much.
It's not that it's difficult to understand you because you're kind of like mumbling a little in your response. So it's like sometimes I hear it, but then it gets into a mumble and I can't really make out. So you're saying that you asked him you read him his Miranda, and then you're saying that he agreed, but then at some point he didn't agree?
No, from what I can remember, initially he didn't want to talk to us. It's okay to investigate, and then later on during the case he changed his mind. And then I asked him about the case, and we went from there.
So the first time when he didn't want to speak, was that after Miranda was read?
Yes, and Miranda's read, and he initially said, no, I don't want to speak.
Did you ask him any questions after that?
No, ma'am. Like I said, we was investigating, we started investigating, trying to figure out all what was going on. And then if I believe, like I said, this is all just trying to recollect it right now. Because like I said, this case was a good little while ago. I believe then he said decide he wanted to talk to us later on. Like I said, we were just walking by. He flagged us down from the back of the car.
Okay, and how did you know that he wanted to speak?
From my recollection, like I said, I'm still trying to remember this case. I believe he just said it verbally.
What did he say?
I can't recollect in the moment.
So regarding the false name charge, did you ask him his name before you detained him or after you detained him?
After I detained him.
And did he verbally say his name was James Wilson?
From what I can recollect, yes, ma'am.
And would that be captured on your body worn camera?
Yes, ma'am, I believe so.
Now, when you say from what you could verbally recollect, are you uncertain or not? Are you sure that he's verbally said his name was James Wilson?
I haven't got a chance to review the body cam. It's from what I remember, ma'am.
So at what point did he say that he wasn't James Wilson?
I can't really recollect exactly, like I said.
Okay, but you're saying that at some point he verbally told you that he was not James Wilson.
From my report, yes. Like I said, I haven't got a chance to review everything, but from what I put in my report, yes.
Okay, we've already notated some errors in your report. So how certain are you that he actually said that he was not James Wilson?
Objection. Ask and answer, Your Honor.
I mean, yeah, we got Miss Carey for 2 hours, and I'm not rushing you, but straight up, did he say his name was James Wilson? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. How'd you find out his name was Zachary White?
From what I remember, he told us on scene. We then ran his name, got his information, and was able to pull up his information.
So he told you his name was Zachary White?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Go ahead, Ms. Collins.
Okay. And you said that he verbally did he verbally tell you that he was aware that the vehicle was stolen?
Yes.
And is that captured on your body worn camera?
Yes, ma'am.
And when he said that when he told you that he was aware that the vehicle was stolen, was this after when did this happen in relation to his detainment? Was it after he was detained or before?
After he was detained.
Was this after he refused to speak?
From what I remember, yes, like I said, I remember him not wanting to speak at first. It's okay. Then later on, he agreed to speak with us.
When he agreed to speak, is that captured on your body camera in any way, shape, or form?
Yes, ma'am. It's been on mine and all the officers out there.
Could you please repeat that last answer? He said, yes, ma'am, and then I didn't hear the rest of it about the officers out there.
Yes, ma'am. It was on, excuse me. Yes, ma'am. It should be on my body camera, and it was about 2 other officers out there as well. It should be on theirs as well. Well, one other officer, Officer Chisholm.
Next question.
Okay. Do you remember what his exact words were?
No, ma'am.
Did he ever mention anything about, did he ever mention whether he knew who James Wilson was?
From my report and from what I can remember, I remember him identifying him as his brother.
Did Mr. White indicate that he had any knowledge of the vehicle being test driven by Mr. Wilson?
From what I remember, yes, ma'am.
What did he tell you about it?
I cannot remember exactly.
Did Mr. Wilson tell you how he came to be in the vehicle?
I cannot remember exactly.
Did he state whether, I know you said that he told you that he knew the vehicle was stolen. Did he say that he knew it at the time that he was given the vehicle?
Excellent answers, Your Honor. He already admitted that he stated that he knew the vehicle was stolen, Your Honor.
Okay, but I'm asking at the point in time.
You're gonna have to rephrase. What do you want to know? When did he tell you the vehicle was stolen? When exactly did he say, yes, I knew the vehicle was stolen? I think that's what she's asking.
No, I'm asking if he told you that he knew the vehicle was stolen when he first issued it. It's one thing to be caught and say, okay, maybe the vehicle stolen, but I'm saying at the time that he received the vehicle. I asked this because there's
no, just ask, because I don't know if I just want you to get the question right for him. Did you understand what she's asking you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, answer that question.
Can you repeat your question one more time?
Let me just ask a better question. Did Mr. White explain how he came to learn that the vehicle was stolen?
I cannot remember exactly. Like I said, I haven't reviewed everything.
Do you know if you ever asked him how he knew the vehicle was stolen?
I cannot remember exactly.
Don't talk, sir.
And you said you don't know what time the time that Mr. Beasley had arrived on the scene. You don't know how long he was already there before you arrived.
No, ma'am.
Can you rule out the possibility that Mr. White had learned of the vehicle being stolen by Mr. Beasley arriving on the scene?
Can you repeat that question?
Can you rule out the possibility, let me ask a better question, my apologies. Can you rule out the possibility that Mr. White did not know the vehicle was stolen at the time that he received it?
Objection calls for speculation.
Sustain.
Okay. All right, the vehicle was returned to Mr. Beasley, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, no further questions.
Anything else from the state?
Nothing,
Anything else for this officer?
nothing at all.
All right, stay healthy and safe out there. Thank you, officer. Argument,
I'll submit on the evidence, Your Honor.
Ms. Collins?
Your Honor, I would actually not find probable cause. I think that.
Hold on. She needs you back up the podium. I guess that's,
Oh, I'm sorry.
sorry, I guess the microphone's not working. I'm sorry, Ms. Carey. Today is just a do-over day.
That's
I
okay. Thank you so much.
I don't have any witnesses to present, so I'll just go with argument. We don't know, we do know that the first person to at least arrive on the scene is Mr. Beasley, the owner. We don't know how long he's been there. We don't know if Mr. Beasley is the one who informed Mr. White that the vehicle was stolen. We just know that upon the officer's arrival, there may have been some statements that Mr. White said he knew the vehicle was stolen. It could have been a situation where he had learned when Mr. Beasley arrived, not at the time that the vehicle was taken. And so I think that that creates some an issue with whether he had sufficient knowledge that the vehicle was stolen at the time that he received it. There was nothing that said, there was no testimony that when Mr. White first received the vehicle, he told them that he knew it was stolen from the beginning. So I think that creates some issue. Regarding the giving false name, we'll submit to that. And additionally, I would just ask if you're going to keep the theft by receiving, that it be reduced to a misdemeanor, because I believe the officer testified that the vehicle's value was $1,500.
Anything else from the state?
Yes, Your Honor. Quickly, the defendant did admit that he did know it was stolen. I think the officer warrant was correct in regards to the cost of the vehicle. And and also he did admit that he did knowingly give a different name, Your Honor.
All right, well, I'll find probable cause on giving false information, law enforcement officer, and the theft by receiving stolen property. I will reduce it to a misdemeanor because the officer said it was $1,500. So I'm going to go ahead and address bond, because I did bond of $11,000 on March the 7th.
Yes, Mr. White has a total of 10 cycles. He has a forgery and a third-degree conviction, 2017. He has 3 counts of identity theft, fraud when using possessing identifying info concerning a person in 2017. He has 2 failure to appears in 2019. He has 1 parole violation in 2019, and then he has a theft by receiving stolen property conviction in 2023. And nothing further, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Collins? Up, back to the podium. Sorry, this microphone's not, that microphone's not working. We just gotta get IT down there.
Your Honor, Mr. White, he is 37 years old. He is a lifelong Atlanta resident. He's a father. He has 2 children, 15 and 17. He's a high school graduate. He graduated from Southwest High School. Prior to his arrest, he was working with DeKalb County Waste Management. He has been in custody as of today, I believe, over 145 days. He cannot make the bond that he has. He has, I would cite for change in circumstances that he has undergone some serious medical issues. He last had his bond hearing, I believe, on March 7th, and that's where he got the $11,000 bond. Since then, he had an incident at Cobb County where he had fallen off the bed and injured his head. He also has asthma. He's had that ever since he was a young child, and he was diagnosed with lung cancer in his early 30s. And so in the lung cancer, along with his asthma, has generated some serious health issues for him. Since that last bond hearing, he has been back and forth to Grady weeks at a time. He comes back, they send him back to Grady, and that's because the jail really doesn't have the adequate medical attention to tend to his health. He is on an oxygen tank. He doesn't have that oxygen tank with him today, so he has kind of a makeshift oxygen tank. But the point is that he's dealing with some very serious health issues, and he's very limited in the treatment that he can get while incarcerated. A second change of circumstances would be his lack of financial resources, of course. He does have a hold in DeKalb. He's wanting to go over to get that taken care of. This case, we finally had a prelim on it, but it's still unindicted. I don't know when it's going to be indicted. We're asking if you would consider a UJR to his hold, Your Honor. And just outside of the bond argument, I would ask if you would consider transferring this case to state court.
Go ahead, Mr. McCauley.
Yes, Your Honor. I believe that the officer has testified, and I think the words are before the court, and we will submit to the court in regards to the amount for bond.
What's your opinion on transfer to state court? Now it's 2 misdemeanors.
Your Honor, the Superior Court is court of general jurisdiction, Your Honor. I understand that once it get decreased, we often try to go to state court, but it is still a court of general jurisdiction. And I believe that it is in a proper court.
All right, no drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons. You're gonna have an ankle monitor paid for by the county with a 24-hour curfew, court, lawyer, medical, and employment, as long as you supply the name of your employer, proof of employment, schedule, and the exact location you'll be working. No further contact with Terrence Beasley, Terrance, Beasley, Beasley. 2,000 on count 1, 500 on count 2. What's your position on the UJR to the hold?
Your Honor,
143 days without indictment.
yes, Your Honor. At this time, we will defer to the court in regards to how they would like to proceed in regards to that, Your Honor. And that will be the state's position.
What's that hold for, Ms. Collins?
It's for the cab, is it? Probation holding.
Probation hold. All right. So Ms. Aaron, so just put $2,500, as an amount, and then UJR to the hold into cab. If they don't come if cab, basically, sir, if the cab county doesn't come and pick you up, then you could post a $2,500 bond, okay? Because sometimes people decide not to come for whatever reason. You have 48 hours to have that ankle monitor placed on your ankle once you're released from DeKalb County. Got that, Ms. Aaron?
I have, is it being transferred to state court? It's staying here.
No, he wants it here, so we can leave it here. Thank you. All right, best of luck to you, sir. Antonio Lachlan. Thank you, sir. Stay safe. Who's got Antonio Lachlan? One of y'all did. Who? There's Antonio Lachlan. Somebody did. Oh, she did, right? Yes, sir. Sorry you're waiting. All right, Mr. Chair, we'll take Antonio Lachlan. We got to make use of the minor court reporter while we got her. You can sit right there at the table. You're Antonio Lachlan, right? Oh, okay, yeah.
What number are you talking about? Got it.
It's gonna be number 1, Antonio Lachlan.
Ready, Your Honor.
Ms. Carey, just let us know, or text me when it's close to time for you having to leave. I appreciate your help.
Oh, no problem. I will let you know. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Are we starting another prelim right now?
Yes, ma'am, just a few more.
Okay, no, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure I knew where we were. Thank you.
Okay. Let's see. I could, Ms. Watts, can you, well, let's see, maybe I could email you the calendar, that way you'll have it to see.
Sure. You can email me after the, I'll get in touch with someone to get the calendar. That's okay.
I'll
Okay.
put my email in the chat.
Oh, okay. I'm in the county,
Yeah, last name is Newman.
yeah, it's under Carrie.Newman.
Thank you, Ms. Watts.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. All right, this one, officer, if you raise your right hand, you swear affirm testimony about to give is truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, if you state, spell your name for the court reporter.
Yes, my name is Monique Edwards Timms. Monique, Monique, Edwards, EDWARDS hyphen THAMES, Timms like the river.
All right, so you can hear, Madam Court Reporter?
Yes, she's very clear. Thank you.
All right, sorry, Mr. Chair, I don't think that microphone up there is working, so you may have to be at the podium. Oh, tap on it and see, I don't know.
Understood, no worries.
Okay. May I proceed, Your Honor?
No, we're waiting on him to, the defendant to get out here.
Gotcha.
Did the officer from the Samuel show up?
They said he was coming. Was that who came in? Roach came in earlier? Oh, that's you, Roach. He's right there. You want to talk to him?
Oh, no, I just want to walk out.
Oh, okay, yeah, thanks. So we can address bond on this since he has no bond as of March 29th.
Agreed.
Is that one on like green, Mr. Joe? Yeah, see, it's not. Maybe twist it and see if it's just like a connection. Oh, there you go. Now see.
Hello?
Oh, is that better?
Yeah,
Miss
that
Karen?
works very good. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, tap it, Mr. Cho. Now you bend it back. Oh, there you go. Now it's working. You can get a job with IT.
Be less stressful, I think.
I think so. All right. This is Antonio Lockland, 22 CP 207843, 139 days without indictment. No bond as of March 29th. Aggravated assault with deadly weapon, possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. The officer's been sworn. Go ahead, Mr. McCauley.
Yes, ma'am, where do you currently work?
I work with the City of Atlanta Police Department in the Special Victims Unit.
And were you working with them on October 26, 2022?
Yes, sir.
Now, how did you become aware of Antonio Lockland?
Well, I was assigned the case through the ag assault unit that's with APD. And we had to investigate crimes of ag assault and things of that nature. And a police report was generated by Officer Ross from Zone 1, where a young lady had reported that a male that she knows struck her in the face with a firearm and left the location.
Please go ahead.
The young lady, Amia Evans, I believe her name is, she stated when the officer.
I'm sorry, can you please spell that name for the record?
When I got in the police report, let me make sure I got it spelled correctly, AMAIA, Evans.
Okay, please go ahead.
She stated to the officers when they walked up, she had blood coming from her face around the right side of her eye, stating that she was struck in the face with a weapon by a male. She named him as Antonio Lockland.
Okay, and through your investigation, please go ahead and go forward in regards to.
So I was able to get in contact with her, and I actually viewed the video footage from the officer's body cam footage. He spoke to Miss Evans, and she gave some information. One of the officers also was able to locate the name and date of birth of the male, and she was able to ID him by a photo picture of him. I think she said that she knew him since December, I believe, and he had stayed at her apartment, which is at 1350 Mason Turner Road, apartment C4, for about a couple of weeks, I believe. He paid her money, and I guess stated that the pair had been intimate before, but changed, but made him, I guess he ended up leaving within that certain time frame. So apparently she said that something happened at the store. He came over to home, and she knew he was coming because she saw him at the store, I believe she said. And she came back to the house and she saw that he knocked on the door. They went outside. And apparently he either tried to take her cell phone, they got into it. She said he pulled her hair, pushed her around. When she tried to get away from him, he had a weapon and struck her in the face where she had like an injury to her above her right eye, I believe, within that area, and then a black eye. And she still had that when I went to speak to her on I believe the 8th. Actual mark on her eye. And she said that he struck her with a firearm. I believe she described it as a gray and black Smith & Wesson. She said that both her cell phones were damaged, but she could not provide how much they were, anything like that. So maybe she can do that later on, I told her. But based on the information that she gave me and from the injuries that I saw, and from the injuries that happened on scene where you can see blood literally coming from her face, I believe there was enough probable cause for the aggravated assault, the possession of a firearm during the commission of a crime. And also I was able to look up his criminal history, and he also had a felony arrest conviction in October 25th, 2020 for entering auto.
And what county was that in?
It says Superior Court, believe Fulton. I'm sorry, conviction out of Cobb County Superior Court for entering auto. And I got October 25th, 2000, I'm sorry.
Okay, go ahead. And the address that this occurred at, what was the address?
The address from the police report when I went to go see her was 1350 Mason Turner Road, Northwest, apartment C4.
And what county is that in?
It's going to be Fulton County.
And you said the victim identified the defendant. How was the identification done?
So the officer who did it, I wasn't able to get in contact with him. So I had to go back over to the house again. So what I did was I had a name and date of birth that was given from the report. I spoke to her and I was able to find the driver license with that photo and that picture. I took out the picture and I also went to her house and spoke to her. I showed her the picture. She was able to say, yes, that's the mail to Whitney. And she signed her name and she dated it.
And do you see the person that was in that license picture that you showed her in courtroom?
Everybody remove their mask.
Yes, this is the mail that I have that she signed the paperwork for, the picture, photo ID.
Can you please describe the article of clothing he was wearing?
Yes, he has on a black type of cap on his head, a white t-shirt underneath with a blue shirt on top.
Can the court recognize that she has positively identified the defendant?
All right, noted.
Can you describe the wound that you saw on the video?
It looked like it was above her right eye and it had blood coming from it. So it was like blood on the side of it. That's what I saw from the video. And then when I saw her on the 8th, which was like several days, almost a week later of March, she had like a small little cut. She said she didn't need stitches. She had like a little bruising around her eye. So she said she had a black eye. And she said that there was some injury to her mouth, but she doesn't remember getting struck in the mouth with the weapon, just remember getting hit in the face with the weapon, but her head being pulled and being thrown around by the male as well.
And you said injury to her mouth. Did she lose any teeth?
I didn't see any of that, and she did not have any medical record to show that there was any type of damage to her mouth at this time. So maybe she will be able to provide that later on.
No further questions, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Joe.
Thank you. Good morning, officer or detective?
It's detective, it's fine.
Okay, thank you so much. Good morning, detective.
Good morning.
The initial responding officer in this case is Officer Ross, is that correct?
That is correct.
ROSS?
Yes, he was the officer that was just here.
Okay. Oh, he was actually here?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Was he the primary on the initial call out?
Yes, he's the officer that did the police report, and apparently there were several other officers out there as well.
Okay. You, as part of your duties, when you're assigned a case several days later, part of your duties are to review the initial responding officer's report, right?
Yes, sir.
In this situation, when Officer Ross arrived on scene, was there any signs of Mr. Laughlin being on location on the incident date?
No, I believe she said he had fled the location.
Okay. And was any kind of firearm recovered on scene?
No, sir.
Okay. And during the totality of this investigation, has there ever been a weapon ever recovered?
No, sir.
Okay. Besides Miss Evans' testimony, were there other witnesses on scene who saw the alleged altercation?
No, sir. There's none listed in the report. I believe it happened in the back of the building, she said, when she tried to run around. I have no other witnesses. And a lot of times witnesses don't want to participate in such things over there in that area.
Absolutely, I understand. When you say back of the building, is that outside or in like the back of the apartment?
She said outside in the back of the building.
I see. To your knowledge, are there any cameras, security cameras in that location?
I worked over there years ago and I think they fixed it up. To my knowledge, there weren't any at the time. I think they had a security guard, but none that I located. And I believe that nothing that from her injuries, anything like that would refer that this did not happen to her.
That's fair. Just so I'm clear, Officer Ross does not note any security camera footage being gathered as for evidence. Is that right?
No, I don't think so. I haven't been out there in a long time. I didn't see any cameras when I went out there.
That's exactly my next question. So when you physically went to Mason Turner Road, is your recollection that you did not see any cameras?
That's correct. I didn't see any cameras because she said she ran into the front of the building and I didn't see any cameras within that area.
Okay. And no cameras were collected when you went out to location, correct?
No, sir.
Okay. The description Miss Evans gave about her relationship to Mr. Laughlin, was that given to Mr. Ross or Officer Ross or to you?
To Ross and me. I believe we spoke about what type of situation they were in. She's basically saying, I guess in the report it says ex-boyfriend, but when I spoke to her, she said it's a male that she's known from December. They have been intimate before. And I believe that he paid money to stay there with her for like maybe a week or two. And I don't know what other type of situation they were in. I don't know what type of situation other than what she can tell me.
Okay. So I think we all agree there was some kind of situation there. Are you familiar with Miss Evans at all previous to this?
I have no idea who this woman was.
Okay, fair enough. And her statement was that there was an exchange of money for staying at the location.
That is correct, but I don't know if they have more than that exactly. Like if there was a relationship was a little bit more than that. All I got is from what she told me.
When you were speaking to her, in your experience as a detective, did you feel like there was an omission of the relationship, like a missing detail of the relationship?
Objection, cause to speculate.
I can say.
Hold on a second. Do you want to respond?
Judge,
or do you want to rephrase?
Did anyone tell you, officer, that Miss Evans works the streets?
No, no one told me that at all.
Based on your investigation, did you have any cause to believe that?
No, I don't, even if she does work the streets or if you're indicating that, she still has injuries and she could be a victim to that. If I believe if he took off running and if he would have stayed and told us the situation, there probably been a different outcome for everything. But, she's there with injuries. She knows him. I don't know too many prostitutes that know their John so well that she knows his name. I don't know the situation. That's what I'm saying. She would have to be able to explain more of the situation to what her relationship with him and her.
It's very fair, Detective. I appreciate it. Was there any details specific about what the fight was about?
Just that there was some situation that happened at the store. He ran over there and said that he shot someone. And so she said she felt like he was coming to her house. And so I guess during the time that she was leaving the store, he came knocked on the door. And apparently they got into some type of argument and she said he grabbed her phone. And that's how both her phones end up being damaged. Like she can't say how they were damaged. She just know that they were not damaged until he tried to take her cell phone from her. So I don't know the situation other than they got into an argument and then the phone was taken. And then that's when the whole altercation occurred where her hair was grabbed, moved around. And she said she was struck in the face with a weapon. She said when she was hit in the face, the gun had, I believe she said, fell down on the ground.
Okay. You had previously reviewed Mr. Laughlin's criminal history, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
When you reviewed it, is there any open case against Mr. Laughlin for shooting anyone?
No, I didn't see that, but in my notes, I believe he was convicted felon with 37 cycles of arrest, and he had charges for aggravated assault, robbery by force, simple battery. Those are some serious, charges.
No, absolutely. I guess my question specifically, though, is according to Miss Evans, she says that he was fleeing because of some kind of gunshot issue, correct?
That is correct. That's what she told us.
And
But we never found anything for that situation. There was like no 911 call. And she felt that he was probably high on some type of narcotic, I believe. So I don't know other than what she told me. And then looking at the situation and speaking to her a second time, I believe that there was enough probable cause to charge him. She did have visible injuries. She did have a black eye. And she described a weapon that was used to strike her in the face.
right. Was there any notation of Miss Evans' inebriation by Officer Ross in his report?
Yeah, she seemed to be a little bit out to me, but I don't know what exactly how intoxicated she may have been. She was able to give a name, stand up and walk to the ambulance from the report. So I don't think she wavered from what she said at all from what she told Officer Ross and me when I spoke to her several days later.
I understand. And Officer Ross's body camera has been saved and uploaded.
Yes, it is.
Were there any other officers whose body cameras were uploaded for this case?
There should have been more at the time. I think there was only just a few. We have like officers, they upload their cameras at certain times because I tried to find an officer who had spoken to her about IDing him. Apparently he was able to ID him there, but if I can't see the video, I'm going to go back and do the ID myself.
Oh, I see. So that you did mention that in direct that there was an ID done, but you weren't able to see it. Is
I
that
wasn't
right?
able to see it from the body camera. So I decided to go back over there and speak to her. And from the information from the report and what she gave, I was able to find that same picture. The picture that was for the name, date of birth. And I also showed her the picture as well. She ID'd him on camera. And I also have body camera when I spoke to her about it.
Oh, so when you went out as a detective, you had body camera on that day?
Yes, and she also has camera footage on her cell phone where she has better close-up images to her face where the injury is at. Apparently the phone was damaged where she couldn't send things out. I don't know if it was cracked, I can't remember, but she was having a hard time trying to send the pictures out. So she can provide more of those pictures of her injuries. And she tried to take care of them over the last couple of days, I guess, before we were able to speak.
Okay. I don't have any further questions. Thank you.
Anything else from the state?
Nothing else from the state at this time. I ask that this officer be released and allowed to leave at this time, Your Honor, please.
All right. Thank you, Detective, stay safe out there.
Thank you.
All right, argument.
I will submit on the evidence, Your Honor, and I will respond to the argument that Mr. Cho may have.
Mr. Cho?
Judge, we'll submit on the evidence.
All right, we found probable cause. We'll go ahead with bond. Right now, there is $15,000 good bond, right?
Judge, this is a no bond.
Wrong one. This is a no bond on this one.
Yes, the defendant has a total of 39 cycles. Defendant has a theft by taking conviction in 2010, a purchase, possession, manufacture, distribute, or sell marijuana in 2010, possession of cocaine in 2010. He has 2 failure to appears in 2010, a theft by taking in 2013. He has a misdemeanor cruelty to children, 3rd degree, 2016. He has a misdemeanor battery family violence in 2016. Probation violation, 2016. He has a theft by receiving stolen property in 2018. He has a receipt, possession, or transport of firearm by convicted felon, 2019. Possession of cocaine in 2019. Theft by receiving stolen property in 2019. He has 5 failure to appears in 2019. He has a probation violation in 2001 and 2022, and he has a hold out of Decatur for a probation violation.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Cho. Oh, sorry.
Ms. Boxley Chester,
Yes.
there was no armed robbery in that litany that you just said, is that right?
Correct. No, I'm driving.
Okay. Judge, we acknowledge the history as written out, but Mr. Laughlin is entitled to bond as a matter of law based on the length of delay in getting the case indicted. Good address, 8614 Thomas Lane in Riverdale, Georgia. Mr. Laughlin is a father of a 9-year-old, and Judge, he was working for Talon, TALON, plumbing. He's a lead technician there for 3 years. He is someone who has been incarcerated now for 8 months plus 139 days. Judge, he was initially at Rice Street, was sent to the Department of Corrections, served an 8-month revocation on a technical violation in prison, and then upon his release from prison was sent immediately back here. So he has been in custody for a very long time. He is eager to dispose of this case and to resolve it. This incident is from February of last year, Judge, so this case has now been pending for quite some time. Judge, you did hear the situation as described by the detective that Miss Evans was apparently letting Mr. Laughlin stay at our location, that there was a relationship that was physical in nature, which was how it was described, and that there was money exchanged, presumably for rent, is I think how it was characterized by Ms. Evans, according to the detective. But Judge, nonetheless, the basis or reason given does not stand to scrutiny in the sense that if someone was actually shot and there's no actual case or open record or a 911 call or any other evidence, Judge, we'd ask the court to disbelieve that. My point being, Judge, that there was a dispute, and if there was a dispute, excuse me, that we are missing some of the details in the case. Judge, we are going to try to find some social work help for Mr. Laughlin as well, but we are asking the court to consider a bond no more than $20,000 total, and we'll leave it to the court's discretion. Nothing further.
All right, what says the state?
The state, we are concerned for the public safety, Your Honor. With the charge that is before the court, we are concerned in regards to the public safety, and we're also concerned in regards to the history that he do have, that he will commit additional felonies while awaiting the trial. That's the concerns that the state have. We will defer to the court in regards to the amount of the bond.
All right, no drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons. Stay away from 1350 Mason Turner Road Northwest, apartment C4 in Atlanta, Georgia. No further contact with AMAI Evans. Have an ankle monitor paid for by the county with a 24-hour curfew. Court, lawyer, medical, and work. As long as you supply the name of your employer, proof of employment schedule, and the exact location you're going to be working. Stay out of Fulton County unless you're here for court or to see your lawyer. Let's see. 5,000, 10,000, and 10,000. Best of luck to you, sir. Which one do you want to go next? What's your case?
Last name is Jones. I think that's the one that's gonna be recessed. We can just get her out of the way with the officer.
This Jones,
Yeah.
Victoria Jones, what do you mean it's gonna be a reset? The officer's right here.
I emailed you.
Oh yeah, you need a reset for that?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. What date would you like on that one?
Could we do like a June date?
Oh, yeah. Ms. Watts, can we get a June date on Ms. Jones?
Okay, give me one moment, Jack.
Is there any time in June, also, there's ex parte, anytime in June that you are out on vacation, training, or just don't want to show up? Just don't want to show up?
I just sent it back over. Well, maybe we could just set a date and then she can communicate with,
Mr. McCauley?
yeah, and then we can, if we need to move it.
Okay.
Okay, Judge, then we can do June, I just lost it, sorry, give me 1 second. We can do June 4th.
Yeah. June 4th, you want 9 a.m. or 1 p.m.? June 4th at 9 a.m.? Is that look good, Ms. Collins, on yours? Do you need me to sign anything for you?
No.
Okay.
I got you.
June 4th?
June 4th, yeah, huh?
I got that as a Sunday.
Oh, is it Sunday? Well, I ain't being here on. Ms. Watts, is that a Sunday?
Sorry, my counter kept jumping when I was clicking on it. Let me go back to it.
Ms. Watts gonna be here on Sunday.
I'll be here by myself. June
By
6th.
herself.
I'm sorry.
June what?
That's a Tuesday.
What's the June?
June 6th.
June 6th, that's a Tuesday. Let me give you this so you remember. Well, you probably ain't gonna be able to read my handwriting, but here you go.
Ms. Collins? Attorney Collins?
Yes.
If you find out something before, you can let me know. I know sometimes y'all may want to answer, you may not. And
Is
I
that-
can let the officer know also.
You did what?
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. And what case are you on? I forget. Erica Samuels. Samuel.
I'm sorry, what was that officer's name on Victoria Jones?
You said, yeah, Victoria Jones.
Victoria Jones, the officer is Angelina, Angelina. Last name is Barden, Barden.
Thank you.
Tell him to bring Erica Samuel. Erica Samuel. Oh, well, do you want to tell Jones on the count? You want to tell Jones, or can we bring Erica up here too?
Oh, I could go back and tell her.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
And then Erica Samuel. You go into the table. Erica Samuel.
Maybe excuse?
Yes, sir.
It's really good seeing you.
Yeah, you too. See you tonight? No, yep, no.
Oh, wait, tonight?
Wait a minute, I say Korea, so far, no, it looks like you might have skipped it.
Oh, no, I am on tonight. Shoot.
Oh.
You're right. I'll see you tonight.
It's not that, well, I'll be there too. Brush up on your Spanish. Hopefully Miss Korea will be there.
The butchering to the Spanish language.
Right. So Miss Carey, this will be, I'm sure they're gonna give you the calendar, but this is gonna be position 9. Officer, if you want to raise your right hand. You swear firm testimony you got to give the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
State and spell your name for the court reporter.
My name is Officer Keith Roach. That's Keith. Last name is Roach, Roach.
All right, and we'll wait on them to get in here.
Yes, ma'am.
128 days, Ms. Collins, let's see, this one. Well, we can address bond if you want, because she had bond on December the 8th, 5,000.
Thank you very much, Officer Roach, for being here, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Well, Mr. McCauley, so while we're doing this, so on Eddie Gate, it was reset before, but I can't open that reset notice to see why it was reset.
Yeah, I tried to do that as well. It's like locked.
Yeah, it's locked. I don't know why I can't look at it.
I'll take a look. I don't think I have any special.
Miss Aaron, can you see on number 4 why that one was reset? Because I can't open it.
Okay, I'll check.
I don't know why. It was doing that the other day too.
And I don't want to misspeak. I know we got a couple of different ones that's in ex parte. I'm not saying it is or it isn't. That the name doesn't jump out to me. And also with that, that position you're on, just let the court know, I did not make personal contact with that officer.
Right, I'm just really trying to see why it was
Gotcha.
reset last
It
time.
was reset because the officer was not present, but I can't remember the reason why the officer was not present.
Yeah, I can't either. And yeah, it's locked again. It was locked the other day on some of those. I don't know why it's locked,
No.
but maybe Miss Tracy can open it.
I could find out, because it won't let me in either.
Wait, is this the officer you talked to that said he wasn't coming? Or was that, that was Kirkman, wasn't it?
No, I didn't speak with, I emailed, Officer Keith. I emailed him. I'm sorry, are you talking about the officer that's here right now, Keith Roach?
All right, Officer Gates, Eddie Gates, Officer Whitehead. Is it Jason Whitehead or James?
It is Jason Whitehead. No, I
All
didn't
right.
see any contact with Jason Whitehead.
Okay. It was reset, this case with, Mr. Gates, where Officer Whitehead was reset previously, and I want to know why. So that we can, but we've only got the court report for a little bit again. So this is, you're Erica Samuel? All right, so this is position 9, 22 CP 214525. 128 days without indictment. There's a $5,000 good bond, 1218. We got criminal damage to property, 2nd degree, and disorderly conduct. The officer has been previously sworn. Go ahead, Mr. McCauley.
Yes, sir. Where are you currently employed?
City of Atlanta Police Department, Zone 5.
And were you employed with them on December the 7th, 2022?
Yes, sir.
How did you become aware of Erica LaShawn Samuel?
On that day, I was working detail at the Greyhound station, and I was flagged down by several Greyhound employees advising that there was a female that threw a brick or a piece of metal through the bus window.
And did you investigate?
Yes, sir, I did.
What did you learn there?
Upon exiting my vehicle, when I walked towards the bus, I noticed that the driver's side, one of the driver's side rear windows was broken out, and they pointed out a Black female running from the location, advising that she was the one that threw the brick through the window.
And did you pursue the female?
Yes, across the street to the corner store, which is directly across the street from the Greyhound bus station.
And what did you learn there?
When I got there, she was pretty much just yelling, "Don't touch me, leave me alone." At that point, several other units arrived. She didn't want me to place handcuffs on her. She allowed another officer to place handcuffs on her, took her back to location, and all the employees, including the supervisor, identified her as being the one to damage the bus. They advised that she left the location, came back, continued acting irate, threatening employees and passengers. And when she left, she came back, she threw the brick through the window.
And were there people around the bus when the brick was thrown?
I was advised that it was either loading or unloading at the time, but yes, there was people on the bus either getting on or off.
Okay. And the Greyhound bus station, what county is that in?
That's Fulton County, located at 232 Forsyth Street.
And did you speak with her at any point during your investigation?
I attempted to, but she refused to speak to me, and she pretty much just talking gibberish.
And you said multiple people identified her. Was she in the back of the police car at that time? Was she stood up in front of the people? How did identification?
No, actually, when they came to my vehicle, they advised me that the lady damaged the bus, and as I was getting out, she was walking away from the location. The Greyhound supervisor, as well as the bus driver and a couple other employees directly pointed her out. That's how I was able to identify who was who.
And do you see Erica LaShawn Samuel in the courtroom at this time?
Right, remove your mask.
Yes, sir. It's the lady at the far end of the table next to the lady wearing the blue jacket, blazer.
Can you please describe an article of clothing she is wearing?
Then or now?
Now.
Now, she's wearing the blue jumpsuit with the black mask on her face.
May the court recognize he has positively identified the defendant.
All right, noted.
What was the cost for the damage to the bus?
It was just the window, the huge passenger window behind the bus driver. So like two to four windows behind the bus driver, the whole entire window.
Okay. And did the cost exceed $500?
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna object to speculation.
Rephrase, sustain.
Were you able to determine the cost for the damage to the bus?
Directly, no, but from an employee, the approximate value is what I was given.
And from that employee, can you determine what the approximate value for the damage was?
I can't recall, but I do recall that it is way more than $500.
It's what? It's a little bit loud.
More than $500.
More
I
than-
apologize.
All right, go ahead.
And you said it was multiple people. In regards to your warrant, you have a specific person listed. Do you recall a name?
The supervisor's name, I don't recall, but I believe it should be in the report.
Okay. And are you the warrant writing officer?
Yes.
If you reviewed your warrant, would it refresh your recollection as regards to the name of the supervisor? I have it and I can provide it for you, sir.
Floyd McMiller.
Okay. Can you please spell that name for the record?
Floyd, first name is Floyd. Last name is McMiller, McMiller.
And did you speak with Mr. McMiller?
Yes, I did.
And what did you learn after speaking with Mr. McMiller?
He stated that she was at the location earlier during the day, acting irate, cursing, and yelling at passengers, but she left the location and she later returned. And when she returned, she walked by the side of the bus and threw a brick through the window.
Did he have any concerns for his personal safety?
At the time he did, yes, he did.
I'm gonna object to speculation.
Go ahead, your rephrase.
Okay. Did you speak with Mr. McMiller?
Yes, I did.
Did you speak with Mr. McMiller in regards to Erica LaShawn Samuel?
Yes, I did.
What did you learn after speaking with Mr. Miller regarding Ms. Samuel?
He basically stated that she was at the location, acting irate, threatening people.
Was he one of the persons that was threatened?
Yes.
Did he express anything in regards to when he was threatened?
He basically stated that she was walking around. She either had a pipe or a pole at the time. Security took it away from her. She left the location. And when she came back, she threw a brick through the bus while they were either during the boarding process.
No further questions at this time, Your Honor.
All right, Cross.
Yes.
Sorry, Ms. Collins, I think that microphone was actually working then, but I think Mr. Cho jiggle that one was working if you didn't want to stand.
Oh, okay.
Tap it though. Will you ma'am, will you reach up and tap that microphone, see if it's working? Oh, sorry. I realize. There you go. Thank you so much. It's right if you want to, that way she can assist you if you need it. Thank you, ma'am.
Let me just. All right, you guys are able to hear me?
I am.
All right. Okay, officer. Yes.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, you sound good. Thank you for checking.
Okay, all right. Okay, Officer Roach, did any other officers respond with you?
Yes, there were officers that came to location to assist.
Okay, do you know their names and badge numbers?
At this time, I can't recall exactly which officers it was.
You speak up just you're real soft spoken.
Yes, ma'am, I apologize.
That's okay.
I want to say, I believe Officer Davis arrived. That's one of the officers that assisted placing her into custody. But I'm not sure exactly which officers responded. It's been a little while.
Okay. And the incident location 232 Forsyth Street, you say that's the Greyhound station?
The Greyhound bus station.
Okay. And were you flagged down after the incident occurred?
Yes.
Okay. And you said that you had spoken with some Greyhound employees, correct?
They're the ones that came to my vehicle to flag me down, advising what happened.
Okay, so assuming that's a yes, do you know the names of the employees?
The only one that I have knowledge of or remembering right now is Mr. Floyd McMiller.
Okay. And did he tell you whether he observed the incident from start to finish?
Yes.
Do you know where he was when he observed the incident?
Standing next to the bus.
And you said that you observed damage to the driver's side window?
One of the rear driver's side windows, yes. Or side windows.
Okay. So not the front.
Not the front window. Okay. It's one of the passenger windows on the side.
Okay. Were you able to obtain any video footage showing how the bus got damaged?
No, ma'am.
Do you know if there's any cameras in that area?
There are cameras in the area, yes.
Did you attempt to try to get any footage from them?
No, ma'am.
Have you, okay, so you said that the employees told you that it may have been a piece of metal or a brick. At this time today, have you been able to confirm what the item is?
Right after the incident, originally they said it was either a piece of metal or brick, but they brought over the piece of metal that she utilized to break the window.
And that was brought over to you on the same day?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did any of the employees you spoke with, did they give a description of the suspect?
Everyone there, including passengers.
Okay, what was the description?
Well, they basically pointed her out, saying it was a black lady running from the bus station. She ran right past me.
You said she ran right past you. Where was she coming from?
Running away from the bus.
Okay. Okay, and how were you able to actually physically detain this individual?
She ran to the convenience store across the street from the Greyhound bus station, where she came to a stopping point where I started to speak to her at that point. She acknowledged what she did. But I told her, when I advised her that, you know what I'm saying, she was going to be placed into custody, she advised me that she did not want me to place her into handcuffs. At the time, several officers arrived. One of the officers standing next to me, she said that he can put the handcuffs on me. So at that time, the handcuffs were placed on her. She was placed into the rear of my patrol vehicle and returned back across the street.
And you said when she was returned across the street, you did a show up?
Well, yes, it was a show up. The whole time from where the bus is actually located to where we were, it's a visual point. You can basically, everyone watched us go over to the convenience store back to the location. So as far as identifying, they identified her from the bus to the convenience store. When I got back, they said that that was her.
All right. When you got back, when they said that it was her, was she still in the patrol car?
At the time, yes.
And you took out a police report, correct?
Did I make a police report of the incident? Yes, ma'am.
And in your police report, you stated that she was transported to Grady detention for medical clearance, correct?
Transported. Yes, ma'am.
Did she have any physical injuries?
To my knowledge, no, she didn't have any injuries. I'm not sure if it was for psych service or injuries at the time. I don't recall.
Drink up a little bit, keep dropping.
I'm sorry.
Court reporter's got to hear you and take it down.
I apologize.
Okay.
To my knowledge, for injury, I believe not. I believe it was for psych services, possibly.
Did you have a body worn camera during your response?
Yes, ma'am.
And was it operating?
Yes, ma'am.
And has it been preserved?
Yes, ma'am.
Just lastly, the piece of metal, was that put in evidence?
No, ma'am, it wasn't. It appeared to be a piece of metal from a sewer, like a sewer cover, possibly.
Is it captured on your body worn camera?
I believe so, it is.
Do you know where at the incident location the metal was recovered from?
No, ma'am, I don't.
I don't have any further questions.
All right, anything else from the state?
No redirect at this time, Your Honor. I have no further questions for this officer. I ask that he be released and allowed to leave at this time, please.
All right, stay safe out there, officer. Thank you. Get some rest. All right, argument. Need me to sign anything or you got it?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Argument, go ahead.
I will submit on the evidence, Your Honor. If Ms. Collins have an argument, I will respond.
Go ahead, Ms. Collins.
I'll submit on the evidence, Your Honor.
All right, we'll find probable cause on both. $5,000 bond as of December the 8th.
Defendant has 5 cycles out of Georgia, and she's a multi-state offender. She does not have any convictions, but she has 3 failure to appears in 2022. She has 5 cycles out of Alabama, and that is public intoxication, which is a misdemeanor 2018, a misdemeanor 2018, disorderly conduct, obstructing government operations in 2019. Making false report, false ID in 2019. And then defendant has 20 cycles out of Tennessee, but no convictions, Your Honor. And
sorry.
And then she has a hold out of Brookhaven for a failure to appear, Your Honor. And nothing further.
All right, go ahead, Ms. Collins.
Your Honor, Ms. Samuels, she is 34 years old. She indicates that she has a good mailing address in Athens, 360 Carroll Avenue, Athens, Georgia, 30606. She says that that's her mother's address. However, at the time now, she is residentially challenged, but she does have a good mailing address. She's been in Georgia for 2 years. She has her mother here in Georgia. She has an 11th grade education. Your Honor, she is struggling with some underlying MH issues. She was previously in the drug court program. I know this because I had represented her on the case that got her into drug court. But she is dealing with those issues, Your Honor. However, she is med compliant now that she is at the jail. She cannot afford any bond, Your Honor. She does currently have a second case open. She was in drug court for that case, but she's no longer in drug court. And I don't think that she has a bond on that case. So whatever happens today, that case would still need to be addressed for bond. Your Honor, we do have social services involved. We are trying to locate some type of program or housing for Ms. Samuel. However, we do not have any placement at this time. Your Honor, we would ask for a reduction. There's nothing she can afford but a UJR. It would have to be through the jail because she cannot go through pretrial because she doesn't have an address or a phone to report to them for. And so, Your Honor, that is our request.
Okay. Ms. Samuel, when you get out to talk to Ms. Collins, she can let you know that, what's back here? Our Lady of Immaculate Conception?
Our Lady of, is that like a shelter or?
Well, it's the Catholic Church back here, but they have phones once a month. So getting, you know what I'm talking about, the church right over here, right back on Central? Just right behind us, check, because they have a once a month or something, they give out phones to people, okay, to help. What says the state?
Yes, Your Honor, we will say that we are concerned in regards to the safety of the public, and we would defer to the court in regards to the amount of the bond.
All right, no drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons. Stay away from 232 Forsyth Street. Stay away from the Greyhound property at the bus station, all right? You have to provide an address upon bonding out. Let's see, this is, but yeah, go by Our Lady of Immaculate Conception because they have food. They also give a couple other things. So 100 28 days without indictment, so 2,000 and then $250. 2,000 on count one, $250 on count two. Best of luck to you, ma'am.
So am I going home or no?
No, you have, if you still have a bond. No, you have to make your bond.
And you don't steal, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Carey, you got time for one last case?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Okay, it's position 8. Raise your right hand. You swear affirm testimony about to give is truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do, Your Honor.
All right, you state your name and spell it for the court reporter.
My name is Barry Durmishi, Bahri. Last name is Durmishi.
All right, since Mr. Steele gets out here.
Your Honor, I know you were asking in regards to position number 4. No, I did not make personal contact with him. I went through and checked emails to see if I did have anything, and I did not have anything personally. And he also did not reach out to our investigator who sent the actual subpoena. So just want to let you know that I did follow up in regards to the concern of with Officer Whitehead.
Thank you. So, Ms. Tracy, were you able to get that open to see what the reason for the reset? Because I couldn't open that document.
Hold on, Judge Man, I'm finna check to see if I can look in there.
Okay. For some reason, I think it was officer show up too, Ms. Collins, but I don't.
That's Gates, right?
What does it say? Officer didn't show up?
Yes, reset for officer.
So this will be the second time, Mr. McCauley.
Yes, ma'am. And we have subpoenaed the officer. The officer was made aware. The subpoena was sent out on Tuesday at 9:36 a.m. With it, we have a confirmed receipt from the custodian, and I do see where he was subpoenaed by our office, Your Honor.
Okay.
Also, Your Honor, Assistant Chief Tucker, he might be hopping on at the 1 o'clock hearing. He's an investigator for us, and he was the one who sent out the subpoenas this week.
Okay. All right. We got to get this one done so that since Ms. Carey is filling in for us so very kindly. All right. So this is Terrell Stills, position 8, or Still, STILL, 22 CP 214311. 135 days without indictment, possession of marijuana with intent to distribute, possession of cocaine, possession of firearm during the commission of or attempt to commit certain felonies, possession of firearm by a convicted felon, and your brake light turn signal violation. Let's see. Does this one have this one has a $28,000 split bond that was set on March the 16th. So, Ms. Collins, depending on what happens today, we may just go ahead and address it again, okay?
Okay.
All right, go ahead, Mr. McCauley.
Yes, officer. Where are you currently employed?
City of Atlanta Police Department, Apex Unit.
And were you employed there on November the 29th, 2022?
Yes, sir.
Can you please tell me how you became aware of Terrell Steele?
On the day in question, November 29th, myself and my partner were traveling eastbound on Cleveland near Hateville Road when we observed a gray Kia Forte making a right from Cleveland as he was traveling east, make a right on, I believe is Hateville Road. As we attempted to pull over the vehicle for not having brake lights, and temporary tag of the vehicle was folded, so it was unreadable. The accused made a right turn to the apartment complex, went through the right side of the gate that was open, and went to the left side when he entered the complex and entered into a parking space. As we exited our vehicle, I approached the driver's side of the vehicle, advised the driver was the accused and a female on the front passenger seat. I advised the reason for the stop, asked them to provide a Georgia driver license. He stated he does not have a driver license. As I was speaking to him, strong odor of marijuana, raw marijuana was coming from inside the vehicle. I asked the driver to step out of the vehicle to detain him since he stated he did not have a driver license at this time. He was taken out of the vehicle, put in handcuffs. We did a pat down on him, for weapons or any illegal contraband. When I opened the door of the vehicle, on the pocket door of the driver door, there was a baggie that contained white rocky substance, which based on my training, knowledge, and experience, believed to be crack cocaine. The accused was walked back to the patrol car. During the search, he also had a digital scale in his jacket pocket, and as well as almost about under $500, I believe, at the time, of currency of different 10, 5s, 20s, and 1s, which we believe, when based on, again, training, knowledge, and experience, that this is used to sell contraband. We did not seize the money because anything under $1,000, our FIU will not seize anything. So if it's under $500, we will not take the money. The accused started talking to my partner in the vehicle, and she was attempting to ID by asking his name and date of birth, since he did not have an identification on him. He uttered out to my partner saying that everything in the vehicle was mine, that the passenger didn't have anything to do with it. I just picked her up from work. The passenger was detained as well, and she also kept stating to us that she doesn't know anything about it, that she just got picked up from work by the driver. During our investigation, in the center console, there's two center consoles. There's an upper one where you can put IDs and stuff. And then if you lift that up on the second one, which is a larger one where you can put other items in there, besides the crack cocaine being recovered from the door, we recovered a large plastic baggie that had about 15 grams of marijuana inside of it. Inside the center console, the baggie is made to contain about a pound of marijuana based on my previous experience dealing with narcotics, and also a firearm from underneath the seat where the accused was sitting at the time of the stop.
Go ahead.
The driver was identified as, let me go back, I'm sorry to spell his name correctly. Mr. Still, the driver was identified as Terrell Karan Still. My partner ran his name through ACIC. He did have an active warrant out of Clayton County SO for probation violation and drug charges, and also had a Atlanta Police Department issued a simple assault DV warrant for the accused. He also did have a suspended license. His license was suspended from, I believe, 10/18/2017. He was also out on probation from, I'm sorry, he was a first offender convicted in Clayton County by Superior Court on 3/1/2018 for possession of controlled or sales of narcotics. He has 10 cycles. He was charged with the possession of a firearm and all the charges that's listed in the report. About 1.7 grams of crack cocaine was recovered from the door, and about 15 grams of marijuana. And also a Glock 19 9mm with the serial number of Adam Edward George Yankee 709 with 16 rounds. The firearm was ran through our central records, ACIC, and did not come back stolen.
A couple of follow-up questions. How was the marijuana packaged?
It was all in one large bag that used to have approximately before, that was just packaged about a pound, but at this time was only 15 grams left.
And can you please tell me about your training in regards to illegal narcotics?
I have worked on field investigation team. I have taken a lot of training and made, as far as narcotics goes, I worked for about 4.5 years in field investigation team. I worked at the narcotics unit where I was able to learn of working undercover and buying narcotics in the streets. And then I've been working in Apex for about 4.5 years, that we mainly deal with narcotics and drugs, illegal narcotics and drugs in the streets.
And based on your training, knowledge, and experience, why did you assume that the substance was marijuana?
It's a green leafy substance that has a distinctive smell from anything else that, would be in a vehicle.
And using your training knowledge experience, why did you think the suspected substance was cocaine?
It's crack cocaine. It's rock form with white powder substance that was recovered from the door, but to be believed to be crack cocaine.
And the vehicle was stopped. What was the address or the intersection it was stopped at?
2749 Old Hapeville Road,
And what county is that in?
Fulton County.
Were you post certified at the time of this investigation?
Yes, sir.
And do you see Terrell still in the courtroom at this time?
You can remove your mask.
The gentleman to my right got a long white sleeve shirt with a V-neck, dark blue shirt over it.
May the court recognize that he has positively identified the defendant.
All right, noted.
Did you ever have a chance to interview Mr. Steele?
No, sir.
Did you ever have a chance to interview the passenger?
The passenger, just to base her statements, remarks, we did not talk to her. Her remarks were that I just got picked from work. She did not have any warrants. She did have an active driver license, and she did state that she is a registered owner of the vehicle.
I have no further questions at this time, Your Honor.
All right. Go ahead, Ms. Collins.
Okay. Is it Officer Dermishi?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You said that you were traveling eastbound when you located the Kia Forte.
We were both traveling eastbound. He was in front of me.
Okay. And you said that your reason for the stop was due to an inoperable brake light?
Yes,
Correct.
ma'am. And also the tag being folded up.
Okay. With the brake light, how were you able to determine that the brake light was inoperable?
Well, the tag is what caught the attention first. And then when he hit the brakes to make a right turn to the apartment complex, they were not working.
How did you know that he hit the brakes?
Well, the speed he was going, because at the time when I blue lighted him, he didn't want to come to a stop on the street like people would do. He made a right turn and actually sped through the gate, like almost in the attempt to try to wait away from us to elude the stop.
Okay. Officer, have you ever driven a vehicle before?
Yes, ma'am.
About how many times would you say you've driven a vehicle?
Objection, Your Honor. Relevant.
Where are we going with this?
He's saying that he believes the brake, that my client pressed on the brakes because the vehicle slowed down. I want to go into that. That's a critical part of this case.
Oh, how many times he's driven the vehicle?
I want to get his experience of being in a vehicle since he's to testify as to how vehicles operate.
I'm not going to let you go on how many times he's driven the vehicle. We know
Okay.
one, he got here. So if you want to ask him, how does he know about the brake lights, whatever, that's fine, but let's not go into his history of driving.
Okay, would you agree, based on your experience of driving a vehicle, that vehicles can slow down without the brakes being operated?
And if you drive a stick shift, then yes, it's possible.
So are you saying that vehicles that are automatic will not slow down unless the brakes are applied?
I can't speak for other drivers, but that's usually what happens. And he did not use a turning signal either at the time when he made a right turn into the apartment complex.
Did you have did your vehicle have dash cam capabilities?
Yes, ma'am, and body cam as well.
Okay, was your dash cam on and operating?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and has it been recorded?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, you said you approached the vehicle and you smelled the odor of marijuana, correct?
As I was speaking to the driver, yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you said that you determined that it was the odor of marijuana based on your knowledge, training, and experience?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. what knowledge, training, and experience have you had with marijuana specifically?
Well, we start in the academy where they take us through different looks and smells of marijuana in the academy, and also have taken training through HIDA to determine the difference between, narcotics and a regular just green leaf.
Okay. Okay, and did you detain Mr. Steele at some point, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And after detaining him, what did you do?
Well, he stated that he did not have a driver license at all, and that's why he was placed on detention at the time.
Did you search the vehicle at any point in time after detaining him?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you said that you recovered what you suspect to be crack cocaine. Where was that? You said that was recovered from the side door?
Pocket door of the driver's side where he was sitting next to.
Okay, and again, where was the marijuana recovered from?
Center console, the large center console. There's two center consoles, one at the top, which was the passenger's ID, was recovered out of there. And when you lift the second one, it's a larger size of the center console where the bag of marijuana was recovered from.
Okay. And could you, what is your knowledge, your specific knowledge, training, and experience with cocaine?
Objection already asked and answered.
You want to rephrase? Do you have anything other than that?
I remember him saying that he was a part of the Apex unit and that they deal with various narcotics. I'm just asking him to go into specifics about the training that pertains to cocaine only.
Talking about identification of cocaine?
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell us what you've learned on identification of cocaine?
Your Honor, I have made several hundred cases on my last 11 years with APD and got convictions or plea deals based on previous arrests that I made while I was an officer for 11 years. And it's white powder substance or the hard rock. So there's two different forms of cocaine. And again, this is only the stuff that we cannot test on the side of the road. Is just, we send everything to GBI for testing to have 100% confirmation of being cocaine.
Okay. Have you sent the substance that you recovered from this case to the GBI?
No, ma'am.
Do you know if it's been submitted into evidence?
It's definitely been submitted to evidence that we put on our city property. Annex, that's where we put it in a secure area. And from there, we do not submit anything else. That will be up to the DA's or ADA's office or an investigator to do that part.
Okay. At this time, do you know if anyone has submitted the substance you recovered to the GBI?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so at this time, you haven't received official confirmation that the substance is in fact cocaine?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Did you submit the marijuana into evidence?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know if it has been submitted to the GBI for testing?
I do not know.
So that also has not been confirmed officially to be marijuana yet?
Yes, ma'am. It has not been yet.
Okay, and to confirm, none of the substances you recovered were actually found on Mr. Steele's person?
Correct.
And the firearm was not found on his person also?
It was located underneath the seat of the driver's side where he was operating the vehicle.
Through the course of your investigation, have you been able to determine how the firearm was placed under the driver's side seat?
No, ma'am.
And you said that you did get a chance to search the vehicle, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Prior to your searching, let me rephrase my question. Was the firearm in plain view?
What do you mean? Can you rephrase in plain view?
Yes. I mean, plain view is if something is just visible to you without having to move anything around, lift anything.
It was placed under.
Your Honor, I don't know what the question is.
I'm just asking him, was the firearm in plain view?
And he didn't understand the question, Your Honor. The ambiguity of the question, he didn't understand.
She was trying to tell him what plain view meant. If you could see it without having to like move stuff around is what she means by plain view.
There was nothing obstructing the firearm underneath the seat, but you would have to look underneath of it in order to find it.
Okay. Now, using that same explanation, were any of the substances you located in plain view?
When I opened the door to ask the driver to step out of the vehicle, that suspected crack cocaine was in the door, which was on plain view after I opened the door to detain the driver.
Based on your investigation and you looking into the vehicle, would you say would one be able to locate the cocaine without opening the door?
Well, the accused at the time was still going to go to jail or be detained at least for the moment because he did not have a driver license, which he stated he did not have a driver license at all. So he's operating a vehicle without a valid license. So either way, he would have to get out of the door and be detained.
I understand that point, officer. I'm just here for a cross-examination. I am just asking. My question was, would you be able to have located the cocaine without opening the door?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Would you be able to have seen the marijuana without opening the center console?
No, ma'am.
Your Honor, relevance. In regards to this case, he already stated that he had a valid stop. And with this, the plain view does not come in at this time, Your Honor. She's having him testify in regards to plain view, and he already stated that he was informed that he didn't have a license. The plain view, the relevance in regards to this line of questioning is not relevant, Your Honor.
I understand that ADA McMullen has his own theories of what I am doing with my testimony, but I believe that he is charged with possession of controlled substances. And I believe in order to have possession, one has to have knowledge that they're in possession of controlled substances. And I think visibility clearly goes to knowledge.
You're about the officer's visibility, not his visibility.
I'm asking the officer because he has seen the scene. He has seen the car, he has seen where it was located. So he is here to testify as to.
I know, but you're asking about the officer's visibility. You're not talking about your client's visibility.
Yes, but I'm asking the officer based off of what he saw. This is going to the location and whatnot. I'm allowed to question the officer based on the scene. He is the one who located it. So I'm asking him based on him being at the scene, searching the vehicle, having knowledge of the layout of the vehicle.
Well, he could talk about what he saw. I don't think he could talk about your client's
Well,
knowledge.
I didn't ask whether my
He could talk
client
about
saw
his.
it.
So he couldn't see the crack till the door was, the alleged cocaine till the door was open. The gun was under the seat. It wasn't in plain view. And the other was in the console. He couldn't see that in plain view.
Okay.
Go ahead with your next question.
Jesus.
What?
I didn't say anything.
Sound like you said Jesus.
And that's not what I said.
No, you said, Madam Court Reporter, can you read that back? Or I could play it back. Pretty much sure you said Jesus. Pretty sure you said Jesus.
I heard Jesus. Yes, Your Honor, I did. I did hear Jesus. Thank you.
Let's not do that, Ms. Collins.
Okay, all right. Officer Demichi, did you have your body cam on and operating during your response?
Yes, ma'am.
And has it been preserved in evidence?
Yes, ma'am. It's uploaded to the city, whatever they hold it on to, cloud.
Thank you. No further questions.
Anything else from the state?
Nothing else from the state. I ask that this officer be released at this time, Your Honor.
Anything else from you, Ms. Collins?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, sir. Stay safe out there.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, go there with the argument.
I will submit on the evidence and I will respond if Ms. Collins have an argument.
Go ahead, Ms. Collins.
I'll submit.
All right, find probable cause on it all. Do you want me to go ahead and hear bond? Wow.
Defendant has 10 cycles. Defendant has a misdemeanor criminal trespass in 2013. He has a failure to appear in 2015. He has a probation violation in 2015. Offender has a theft by receiving stolen property, First Offenders Act that was sealed in 2023. He has a purchase, possession, manufacture, distributor, or sale of marijuana, First Offenders Act that was sealed in 2023. And then a possession of a Schedule 1 or 2 controlled substance with intent to distribute, First Offenders Act that was also sealed in 2023. And nothing further, Your Honor.
Go ahead, Ms. Collins.
Yes, Your Honor. At the time of today, Mr. Steele has been incarcerated for 135 days. He does have a bond in his case, so his case is in compliance with the law. However, he cannot afford that bond, and we are asking if you would just consider a reduction today. Your Honor, he is a lifelong. He has been in Atlanta since the age of 13. He does have a good address in Ellenwood, Georgia, 2825 Emerson Court, Ellenwood, Georgia, 30297. He indicates that is the home of his mom and stepfather. He has a 2-year-old child. He has a 12th grade education. Prior to his arrest, he was working 2 jobs, one as a security officer, the other at UPS as a packer. He does have a hold in Clayton County. He is wanting to go over and address that hold. His case is still unindicted at this time. Of course, we don't know when his case will be indicted, but we are just asking for a reduction to make it easier for him to be able to afford his bond and go over to Clayton County. As far as changing circumstances, I would cite his lack of financial resources. The entire time he's been in custody, he has not been able to obtain any income towards the bond. And so our change in circumstances would be the lack of financial resources. Your Honor, we just ask if you would consider cutting his bond in half.
Right, Mr. McCauley.
Yes, Your Honor. We're concerned about the safety to the public and also the defendant and the fact that he was actually on probation, and then also the fact that he has a history with committing multiple felonies. So that is concern that the state have at this time. We would defer to the court in regards to the amount of bond.
All right, 2,000, 3,000, 7, and I'll keep the bracelet UJR through the jail. 2,000, 3,000, 7,000, 7,000 UJR through the jail. No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons. Have an ankle monitor paid for by the county with a 24-hour curfew. Court, lawyer, medical, and employment. As long as you supply the name of your employer, proof of employment schedule, and the exact location you're going to be working. Stay away from 2745 Old Hateville Road Southwest. Stay out of Fulton County unless you're here for court or to see your lawyer. No further contact with Shakira, Shakiria Hughes, Hughes. You have 48 hours to have that ankle monitor placed on your ankle if there's a hole. Best of luck to you, sir. And Ms. Carey, I know that you need to go. I think that is all that we need to put on the record. No, one more just to put it on the record for as far as Eddie Gates. Is Mr. Gates back there? Okay, just 1 second, Ms. Carey. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're very welcome. It worked out really well. I don't have to pick up until at noon, so we're good. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. And I'll keep your husband in my prayers.
Thank you so much, Judge.
Judge Manning, what was the last two bonds?
Well, on what I just said,
Yeah,
I did 2,000, 3,000, 7,000, 7,000, and the brake light stays at UJR jail.
thank you.
So, Ms. Tracy, on this one, on Eddie Gates on position 4, does it say it was reset for officer to appear?
Yes, they said, arresting officer did not appear. That was the boss. That was checked. So that was the reason for the reset. Let me look at it again. You should be able to open it up now, Jay.
Yeah, I can open it now. This is Mr. Gates. All right, this is position 4, 22 CP 211352, Eddie J. Gates, 248 days without indictment. He's charged with aggravated assault. And this was last on the calendar.
Oh, I thought you had an announcement.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's not going to take long, I guess. Well, it was last on the calendar on March 30th. It was reset because the officer failed to appear. It was reset till this morning at 9 a.m. Go ahead, Ms. Collins. Officer's not here.
Your Honor, we would request a dismissal at this time. The burden is on the state and they have failed to produce a witness on 2 occasions. Mr. Gates has been in for over 200 days, waiting for an opportunity to be heard on probable cause.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Here, we don't have any explanation for why the officer did not respond to his subpoena. And so because there is no evidence presented today, I would ask for a dismissal.
All right, Mr. McCauley, give me something besides your standard response.
Your Honor, I'll go through a little bit more. This officer was subpoenaed on Tuesday at 9:36 a.m. The subpoena was sent to APD subpoenas at atlantanga.gov. Also, the custodian is Genevieve, Jennieve Amore. She is a custodian for APD. It was also sent to Tamika Crockett and myself, and also our subpoena box. The officer was subpoenaed at 9:36. And it was a acknowledged receipt by the custodian. At this time, the officer did not show, and our was subpoenaed actually by Kendall Tucker Sr., who is our Assistant Chief of Investigations, Your Honor.
Ms. Collins, anything else? I mean, what's your position? She wants me to dismiss it. This is the second bite of the apple.
I understand that at this time, we are not prepared to go forward because the officer is not here and he has been properly subpoenaed.
All right, we're going to have to dismiss it for one in prosecution, not giving you, I mean, these officers, you got to get in touch with them. I don't know. Last time it was reset, and I think we even take it up. Like, what's a good day to reset it to? So we reset it from March the 2nd. I mean, from March the 30th, and they just got the subpoena on Tuesdays, kind of sad, or if they were sent out Tuesday, but y'all knew the date ahead of time. It's dismissed for warrant of prosecution. Thank you.
May I be excused?
Yep. Ms. Collins, I think your client wants to talk with you.
Thank you. Can I talk to her?
I'll come to the back.
Can I call you?
Anything else?
Thanks.
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
Thank you so much, Ms. Carey, and I'll tell Judge Carsell, thank you so much. I'll see y'all at 1.
Yeah, 1, Your Honor.
All right.